Everyone is speaking out against the Pelicans not doing anything in the first round of the draft last night, despite what they said in public. But I told you that they weren't going to do anything. And now I'm going to tell you what's really possibly going to happen tonight as they get ready for the second round inside this edition of Pelicans Digest. What's good with it, y'all? It's your people, Melz On The MIC, back once again inside Pelicans Digest. Clap it up for me, because I told y'all, don't get your hopes up. Don't get gassed up. Don't buy none of this hype that all these other folks are selling y'all about the Pelicans trading back into the first round, because it's not, and it didn't happen at all. I try to tell y'all, but I'm the clickbait guy, though. I'm the clickbait guy. I'm going to explain to you why I came to the conclusion I came to and why I believe the Pelicans didn't make a move last night inside this edition. First, got to let you know that it's sponsored by Prize Picks, America's #1 sports picks app. Use the link in the description. Use the code DIGEST. Play $5, get $50 instantly in lineups. And I'll give you some World Cup picks that's going on tonight that you can make some money on inside this episode. So make sure you keep it locked for that. But last night, man, I explained this before. I have to approach this show with a sort of two-tone approach with the fan and the analyst. The fan in me watched that draft last night and was mad as hell because not with the fact that the Pelicans didn't do anything. I'm mad that I wasted my time knowing this going in and they didn't do anything. I was more mad about that with myself. The analyst in me, though, is like, you was right, dog. And listen, the reason I came to the conclusions I came to was because out of all that noise that you heard, the one thing I need everybody to remember is we're less than a month removed from this team gutting the front office. They have largely, in whole scale, gutted the entire front office. Who are these sources that these people are claiming that they got? Everybody just got there. The front office of the Pelicans just got into the building. They're focused on getting to work doing their exact jobs, not talking to people on Twitter and everywhere else and these reporters. That's why I was able to come to the conclusion I came to. That's one of the reasons why I knew Pelicans are not doing anything, because they're not talking about this to anybody. They're not telling anybody they're doing anything. Now, do I think they made calls and took calls for trades and other stuff? Absolutely. Absolutely. I really do believe that. Especially when it came to Trey Murphy. I believe they took calls with Trey Murphy. I really do. The issue that I have, and the issue that I need everybody to understand is, put yourself in the GM's shoes for a second, okay? If they're calling you about a player that they believe is going to be the one piece they need to make a championship or playoff run or make their team massively better, pay my asking price if you want them that bad. Because, see, that's the thing. All this, I keep hearing about the Trey Murphy, Trey Murphy, and again, and I'll get into the whole he wants to leave situation in a second. I'll explain that in a second. But the thing you got to understand is, if I'm the GM, I am not going to give you something that's going to make you better unless you're going to give me something back that's going to make us massively better. So, yes, I want a Desmond Bane deal for Trey Murphy if you are going to trade him. And no team is going to do that. They don't believe that. So that means we're going to keep Trey Murphy. I don't think no team wanted to give up all that for Trey Murphy. And if you believe that, and if that team believes that, they need to pay the asking price. I don't care how you feel about the player. I don't care if you don't think, he can't defend and he get pushed off the ball. Get paid my price. My price is my price. Pay it if you think if he's that great for your team. Otherwise, my responsibility is to keep this guy on this team. And also, pay attention to this quote from Sam Amick, who kicked this all off yesterday. Look at this quote very closely, because Sam Amick was the one, and he's a reporter, and again, he's a reputable reporter, not saying that he doesn't get things wrong or right or anything like that, not saying he's a bad reporter, not a clickbait guy. He's a seasoned reporter, a veteran reporter, knows what he's talking about. But in his quote that launched all this Trey Murphy stuff yesterday about they're going to trade Trey Murphy by the end of the day at the end of the draft, he said, quote, "It seems pretty clear that he has also signaled a desire to play elsewhere. It seems pretty clear. It seems. Focus on that for a second. Because here is the definition of seems. Seem means to give a certain impression, appear, or feel a certain way. The second part is what's important. It describes a perception, guess, or outward aspect that may or may not reflect absolute truth. May or may not. That's important, because that's the same definition as an opinion. An opinion is a judgment that is not necessarily based on facts. I don't believe Trey Murphy I don't think there was any kind of talk between Trey Murphy and the Pelicans saying that he wanted to leave. I don't think he had a team or anybody leaked that. And again, if you're taking calls with Trey Murphy, this is my price. Respect the price or don't pay it. Because that's the other part of the reporting on the Trey Murphy trading scenario that a lot of people are talking about. The Warriors reporters are now saying, we don't believe we ever was in the mix for a Trey Murphy trade. You're hearing a lot of fluffery. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of tomfoolery out there. A lot of engagement, clicks, get your blood pressure rising up. When it's not nowhere founded. There are no sources in the Pelicans organization right now because the entire staff is new. Those folks don't have time to sit down and talk to reporters. They got to get in there and get their computers and office and get to work on what they got to do to get ready for next season. So let's talk about the draft picks that were picked last night. After the top 10, what happened? Okay, I'll give you the top 13. After the first 13 players, what? There was a whole lot of, who's that guy? It was a whole lot of that. Even the reporters were like, oh, wow. I didn't. It was chalk probably up until the 13th pick. The only time I thought the Pelicans would actually make a move in that situation was anytime Memphis or Oklahoma City made a move. And Memphis traded up just by move, or traded down, if I'm not mistaken, gave up their first with just 2 second-round picks. A whole lot of folks were just moving around second-round picks just to move up 1 spot or 2 spots. So no. I mean, and the Pelicans, again, didn't have, in my opinion, don't have enough assets, quality assets, that would, in my opinion, make a team want to jump on these trades and give up their positioning. So no, I told y'all. I'm sorry you wasted 3 hours of your life last night watching that. I'm sorry I wasted 3 hours of my time watching that. But I knew it was going to happen because the one thing I think is happening, and I've said this before, they're rebuilding the front office roster and preparing to see who's going to buy into the Mosley system. They still believe that they have enough pieces as of right now with the addition of the rookies to at least be competitive next season under a new coaching strategy. The fan of me don't like it. The analyst in me understands. So what are we going to do tonight? What are we going to do to improve this roster tonight? Well, like I said before, and I've been saying it. Yeah, everybody kept talking about, this is a generational draft. It's not a generational draft. Because you had a whole lot of talent fall to the second round. A whole lot of this projected first-round talent that everybody was talking about. You're now going to have the chance to the Pelicans to go pick up on some of that. Amid all the chaos of the draft, a golden opportunity emerged for the Pelicans as some incredibly talented players slipped into the second round. High-profile players like Malik Thomas, Isaiah Evans, Baba Miller, and Ryan Conwell all fell in round 2. These are all guys that were projected to be in the first round. Now they're in round 2. Shout out to Chris Lambert once again, Pelican Debrief, who put up an article about a player by the name of Henri Veesaar. A lot of y'all have mentioned about him in the comments. Out of North Carolina, as a possible big that the Pelicans could get their hands on. As of right now, he's fallen into the second round, and he is currently the highest rated center. If you want to go that route, if you're looking for another big, he's the highest rated center going into the second round. And again, this is why I said, if you're the Pelicans, this is where the Pelicans have an opportunity. I said it yesterday, where you have a chance to trade up. I think this is where they go to trade up into the second round. So they can at least go get their guy and get this over with and move on. Is Veesaar that guy? Hey, let's take a look at what he's got. Out of the group of players that slipped into the draft second round, one guy literally stands tall. That's Veesaar, according to Chris Lambert. The University of North Carolina big enters the second day of the draft festivities as the highest-ranked center on nearly every major outlet's board, and for good reason. He had a strong senior season, averaging 17 points and 8 rebounds per game while shooting 60% from the field. I like those numbers. I really do. But that's if you're going to go that route. Because I still think the Pelicans still have a strong belief in Yves Missi. And there's been reports that a lot of teams to continue, including the Lakers, continue to call about him, and they're not giving up on him. And they'll have to, because Missi started coming on strong towards the end of the second season. But yet you still will want a big that can contribute in other ways offensively. And Veesaar sort of fits that mold. Because he also shot an impressive 42% from 3-on-3 attempts per game. His ability to be a threat in both the pick and roll and pop created a fun offensive dynamic that made Carolina's attack on that end extremely versatile. And again, this team needs three-point shooting bad. Any way you can get it. Of course, he does have his faults. He's not, an elite rim protector or post defender, but he does a good job at recovering and using his length to block shots. The swing skill with Veesaar is his passing. He's also noted as an excellent passer as well. So that's one guy you need to keep an eye on, possibly moving up, because he won't be there at the 58 pick if the Pels stay there. He will not be there. Other names you need to watch, and this is something I brought up before, about the players that actually have worked out for the Pelicans, that more fit of the mold of where they're going to land at correctly in the second round. One of the players is Maliq Brown of Duke. He's actually currently number 51 on the overall draft board on a lot of folks' boards, and as of right now was the highest rated prospect that the Pelicans worked out in their pre-draft workouts. Also, another name that's very intriguing to me is Jaron Pierre Jr. of SMU. It's sort of a microwave scorer, if you will. And he also worked out for the Pelicans in pre-draft workouts. I like what he's done at SMU. I was actually, I live near Dallas, so I've been hearing a lot about him. Was surprised he didn't go in the first round, but hey, you have an opportunity to you're the Pelicans to go get him. Another name that you need to keep an eye on is Quadir Copeland from North Carolina State. But he also went to McNeese State, Joe Dumars, and that kind of in that area. For what I told, is a tenacious rebounder and good on that side of the ball as well. So that's another name you need to keep on. And if you're still in the big department, look for Giovanni Imejuru from East Carolina. I saw his numbers. I think he averaged 12 points a game, averaged 9 rebounds a game. Rebounding is something that the Pelicans are definitely going to be looking for as well. But let me say this again. Those are just a few names you need to keep an eye on going into the second round. But let me say this again, man. I like being right and I also hate being right. I like being right because as an analyst, that you want to make sure that your information is accurate. I've been in the media business for more than 15 years. I know how the game works. I do this because I enjoy it. I love my team. I like talking to y'all about the team. This is my team. And I've also learned what to expect from my team and learn how to temper my expectations and not fall into the hype of what a lot of people are saying. As a fan, I don't like the position that we're in now. As an analyst, I understand, though. I understand. As a fan, I still want to get a clear understanding on what direction we're going in. Are we handing the keys to the young guys? The analyst in me is saying, yeah, but what are you willing to give up to make this happen? Again, we got to dump off some of this stuff, but I also will understand if they don't. Because you still want to go into next season and they still have a belief that this team, as it's currently constructed with the veterans that they have, they believe that this team can at least do something this season. Again, you ain't got to agree with it. It's just what it is. It's the reality of it. Again, I don't like it either. I don't like the position that we're in right now. But it is what it is, and I got to deal with the reality of it. I got to try to make the best of it. Not so much make the best of it, find the ways in the areas where you can improve. And I think they're doing that right now, so, settle down. I just found it funny watching all these folks out here having live parties and all the draft live watch parties and just sitting there like this. That's why I didn't go live last night. I thought about it. I was like, man, should I go live last night and do a live? No, because it's gonna be a whole lot of this. It was gonna be a whole lot of that. And I just found that funny. And that's why I'm seeing all this anger today. I'm seeing all this frustration on social media today with the Pelicans. What did you want them to do? What did you, and that's my question. And that's my question for y'all. If you're upset about the Pelicans not doing anything, what did you expect them to do? What would you have liked them to do? And be realistic now. Be realistic. That's the question I have for you. As I wrap up this edition of Pelicans Digest, man, I'm going to get up out of here and give you some picks that you can pick tonight on Prize Picks, especially in the World Cup action. There's a discount right now on Vinicius Junior, I guess that's all you want to call him, for Brazil. Scoring 1.5, well, not scoring, but taking 1.5 shots. That's a discount tonight on Prize Picks. You need to jump on right now. And also, I went with him a couple of days ago. I don't remember if he hit it or not. I don't think he did. Julian Quinones of Mexico. They're in the game tonight against the Czech Republic. I expect him to at least get a goal tonight against that team. He didn't score one last game, but I expect him to get one tonight. So go get signed up on Prize Picks right now using the link in the description and using the code DIGEST. Play $5, get $50 instantly in lineups. That lineup I just gave you, if you play $20, will win you $100. So go jump on it on Prize Picks right now. And thank you so much for tapping in with us here on Pelicans Digest. Well, we give you the facts, man. I try to give you that real, not that foolishness. It's Melz talking about those spells. I'll holler at you.